I certainly hope that I am in the right universe this time.
Who's in there? You better have a good reason for invading my home. Who are you?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to intrude.
I'm the rabbit.
A rabbit. Well, you see, I've been traveling through different dimensions for the last month or so, and, just because I'm looking for a movie called Dinosaur Deniers Part 3, do you happen to know anything about that?
As a matter of fact, I do. What do you want to know about it?
Well, I just want to review it for a friend back in my dimension, and this seems to be one of few places that seems to have such a movie, or at least that it exists in a physical format. So I was just wondering if I could just review it quickly, and I promise I will go home.
Okay, but only if you leave right after, because I get pretty cranky when uninvited guests stay around.
Thank you. You have my word.
Well, you better, because my friends won't like it.
Friends?
You wouldn't want to see them when they're mad. Follow me.
Wow. Nice place you got here. Say, does anyone else live with you?
Well, my children.
Who is this, Mother?
I am Sivart. I'm a wizard.
Never heard of you.
That's just because that I'm from another dimension. That's why you haven't heard of me.
Wait a minute. Are you vaccinated?
Yes, I'm vaccinated. 3 times, in fact.
I never heard of a third vaccine.
Cool.
Show me the card!
Okay. Here you go.
What in the butter lettuce is COVID-19?
Oh, COVID doesn't exist in your universe. Okay, yeah, that's right. It's the vaccine from my universe.
Well, I was talking about the carrot influenza.
Oh, well, I assure you that I don't have that. I eat plenty of apples.
What's an apple?
Keeps the doctor away. It's a magical.
What's a doctor?
Helps to get better, people.
You want to stay for dinner? We're having our favorite, cabbage and carrots.
It's delicious.
And they're good for your eyes.
Okay. I suppose you can stay for cabbage and carrot cake.
Carrot cake?
And then you leave.
Okay. Well, it's okay. I'm not hungry. I'm just gonna watch the movie, review it, and then I will be gone.
Don't you know it's rude to say no to some good cabbage and carrot cake?
Well, it's okay. I'll just get out of your hair soon. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to say hair like rabbit. I mean,
That's offensive!
no. Okay, I'll just. I think I'll just be on my business now.
I think that might be best.
Okay, well, the living room is right there.
Well, that was weird. Anyway, let's watch the movie. Well, that was interesting. All right, let's finally get talking about the movie and my honest thoughts on it. When talking about this movie, I won't fault the lack of money or resources, and I will also take into account that this is a beginner filmmaker who basically got his start on making short videos on YouTube for roughly 10 years, and instead will critique this based on story-related elements. But before I get to those, I'll start with a few beginner traps as a way for Eric to improve his next film. The first is lingering shots, which basically means unimportant moments that are added into a film, more like trimming the fat, essentially. Some do it to make the film feature length, others because it's assumed that these shots, without them, that people won't be able to figure out what's going on and not trust their audience to connect the dots. Of course, I'm not implying that Eric thought people would follow the movie, rather than he just had pride in his work and wanted to share everything and reward his longtime fans with a longer episode. In fact, I'm guilty of doing the same thing with some of my early films, and it's hard to cut anything from your first movie. Even if the scene or moment is pointless, it has to be cut. I'll give an example. After Eric had his first encounter with the CD, he decides to escape the CD. In the YouTube cut, you actually see him make every step from entering the garage, entering his car, starting the car, pulling out, and driving. Again, we can connect the dots and assume we know what's going on, and showing that process is unnecessary. It's about trusting your audience. The second one is no script. Sometimes having no script and relying on improv to tell the story can be good, as natural reactions can give realism to the scene. However, if there's no clear goal into what each scene is trying to say, you'll get what are known as pregnant pauses, which are perceived to be dramatic pauses, but in cases like this, it means that people are thinking of what to say to give context to the story. The Infinity War MacGuffin isn't completely relevant until about 40 minutes into the movie, which is about where the first act should be wrapping up. Sometimes beginner filmmakers want to skip the boring parts and jump into making the movie, and though that's the fun part, it's important to have some structure and give a clear goal, because in the end, if we don't care about what's going on, then you kind of did fail. And it's not to say you didn't care about what's going on, it's just that there has to be a little more structure into the project. The next one is fan service, which there's nothing wrong with fan service, of course, as it was mostly made for the fans in mind. But in cases like the Mustache Man and even the gangster character, they just popped out of nowhere and are just made to assume that the majority of people will know who they are. You don't have to derail the story to give backstory on every single character, but just some setup will be enough. The next one is mostly a pacing issue. There are moments in like the opening segment where, toward the opening anyway, where meeting with Natasha and Barbara about the CD, and there's even the post-snap thing where society lasts much longer. The scene lasts much longer and could be trimmed for minutes or whatever, and you wouldn't lose anything. The next and final thing is editing. For the most part, the editing is fine, but there are moments that, especially when two people are talking, it comes across as, okay, say your line, cut. All right, say your line, cut. But for the most part, the editing is fine. But despite the faults, there is clear passion, and I will give you a pass if I feel that you have tried. Because if you don't care about what you're making, why should the audience? I appreciate the fact that it's essentially an extended episode with higher stakes, that there were some genuinely funny moments. The Dinosaur was a fun play on words, and it made fun of Dinosaur Deniers without seeming mean-spirited about this and saying, "You're an idiot. How dare you say this?" And there are some pretty cool shots in there, and the ending battle was pretty entertaining. I would say give it a watch if you haven't, especially if you are a fan of the channel. I will give it a final grade of 75% out of 100. I would end things off like that, but you know what? Since I'm in this universe, let's talk to the director himself and probably get his insights on it.
Man, a long day.
Eric, are you there?
Whoa, Sivart? How am I here talking to you if... And... Oh, okay, dude, I'm confused. So... How am I here talking to you as I'm a character in my movie? It shouldn't exist.
Oh, that's not really important at the moment. I'm just here to ask a few interview questions. I hope you're okay with that.
Okay, man, yeah, that's totally fine with me, you know, to do an interview.
Okay. So the first thing I guess I want to ask is, what inspired you to make this movie in the first place?
Things That Piss Me Off has been my most popular series on YouTube for the entire time that I've been on YouTube. So I thought, hey, you know, the series is popular enough where it warrants a film adaptation out of it. So yeah. It's honestly something I've wanted to do my entire life, was to make a movie. And, you know, I've went through quite a bit of trials to get a movie made. And numerous attempts happened and they didn't work out. So I've had this series of mine called Things That Piss Me Off for well over a decade. And in one of my live streams, or I believe it was someone else's live stream, I don't remember, but a subscriber of mine named Dino King 213, I believe, he gave me the idea of the entire plot of the movie. He said, hey Eric, you should do a Dinosaur Deniers Part 3, and you also should have the country music CD come back for revenge. I'm like, yes, that right there is the plot of my movie. Yes, there it is. There it is.
Was there anything you wanted to put in your movies, but because of lack of proper resources, you were just unable to do it?
As well, this movie didn't even have a budget because, you know, I couldn't get a budget for my other attempts at trying to make a movie, so I thought, you know what? Don't even have a budget. So, it would have been nice to have a budget, but, you know, I made do with what I had. It would have been nice to actually have a sound guy. It would have been nice to actually have a camera crew. But yeah, not many people were involved with the making of this movie at all, so... You know, I guess that's just the price you gotta pay for having a no-budget movie.
Any dream projects?
I would love to get Dumb of the Dead made. That was a movie that I tried to make before this one.
And based on news about the upcoming sequels coming out in your series, are there anything that we should expect without giving anything away?
Oh man, there's so much that I want to give. There's so much that I want to say, but I can't say because they are spoilers. So... Man, I'm trying to think of what's not a spoiler. Okay, well... The villain of the first movie was the country music CD, reincarnated as a Justin Bieber CD. And then for the sequel, you know, this is not a spoiler because this was in the post-credit scene of the first movie. The Now CD from the first Things That Piss Me Off episode is going to be the villain for the second movie. And the third movie, the villain is not going to be another CD. Because I don't want to just keep having the villain be a CD. So, I'm not going to say who or what the villain is going to be for the third movie. But expect big surprises. That's all I'm going to say.
Any dream projects?
Don't give up. Trust me, I know it's easy to feel that way. I felt that way with Dumb of the Dead. But, you know, keep at it. Even if it has to be a no-budget movie, I mean, make do with what you have, not with what you don't have.
Well, thank you for your time. Hey, who's that right behind you?
What are you talking about? There's nothing behind me.
Are you sure about that?
Oh no. I need to get out of here. I need to travel back home. Okay.